Beyond a cobblestone path lined with mossy oaks in Savannah, Georgia, the Hamilton Turner Inn offers guests a unique lodging experience, with the possibility of supernatural occurrences. The hotel was first established in 1873 by Samuel Pugh Hamilton. He had served in the Navy during the Civil War and was a man of many talents. He owned a jewelry and watch store and was renowned for his optician work. Due to his success, he was able to construct the grandiose inn that would earn him the unofficial title, the Lord of Lafayette Square. Hamilton was a well-traveled man who decorated his inn with fine art collected from the four corners of the world. To protect his assets, Hamilton hired a security guard that could often be spotted stoically smoking a cigarette on the rooftop, vigilant of suspicious activity. Unfortunately, the man died on duty when an unknown assailant shot him in the back of the head. While this murderer was never apprehended, some believe that the guard continued his work in spite of death. Many guests to the Hamilton Turner Inn have reported smelling cigar smoke and seeing a shadowy figure perched atop the roof, watching visitors with care. While some speculate that this is the spirit of the guard, others believe that this apparition could actually be the original founder, Samuel Pugh Hamilton. After the death of his guard, Hamilton assumed the position himself. Perhaps in honor of his fallen employee, the man would always smoke a cigar as he watched over his beloved hotel. This cigar-smoking ghost is not the only spirit said to roam the premises. After the death of Samuel Hamilton, an osteopath named Dr. Francis Turner acquired the inn. He used it as his base of operations, and many suspect that he performed numerous autopsies within the building's basement. Along with being well known for his work within the medical profession, Dr. Turner followed in the footsteps of the Hamilton Turner's previous owner and soon became a pillar of the community due to his lavish parties. When the doctor would invite over a substantial number of party guests, the children would be ushered into the billiards room. There, they could play together, while the adults had their fun. However, the children were eager to investigate the noises they heard and see what their parents were up to. They sneakily devised a plan that they hoped would give them a chance to sneak a peek at the raging party below. The children would roll one of the billiard balls out of the room, letting it tumble down the stairs. After this, one child would run out after it, sheepishly apologizing to any adults they encountered. What started as a mischievous game devolved into a tragic incident. A little girl ran after the ball and unfortunately slipped, tumbling down the long flight of stairs. She was pronounced dead at the scene. However, her curious spirit is said to have remained. Guests throughout the years have reported hearing her laughter, followed by the heavy thunk of a billiard ball, hitting each individual step. Known as Georgia's Titanic, the Ellis Hotel's name lives in infamy as the site of a devastatingly tragic event. Located in downtown Atlanta, it was initially established as the Wine Cough in 1913 and served as a popular lodging option for many years. The hotel often boasted of its safety measures, claiming it was virtually impenetrable by fire. Because of this, city visitors flocked to the hotel, especially during the holiday season. It wasn't uncommon for the Wine Cough Hotel to be booked to capacity in December. This was the case on December 7, 1946. The 15-story building was full of guests ranging from visiting families to young students in Atlanta for a mock legislative session. These people thought they were safe. Despite the hotel's incessant advertisement of its safety precautions, it caught fire in the early morning hours at 2:48 a.m. It originated from the third-floor corridor and rapidly expanded to consume the entirety of the building. There was only one stairwell in the Wine Cough, so after the flames engulfed that, all guests not on the ground floor were effectively trapped within their rooms. While the Atlanta Fire Department swiftly responded, issuing over 400 firefighters, 22 engine companies, and 11 ladder trucks, their best efforts were still insufficient to save the guests. Their ladders could not reach the upper floors of the hotel. As guests woke up to flames and smoke, many panicked. They tried to escape their burning rooms by tying together bed sheets and attempting to launch themselves from the wine cough to the mortgage guarantee building across the alley off Ellis Street. As these desperate individuals plummeted from the massive drop, the alley in which the fire department was working became hazardous, and they evacuated. It was not until that morning, when the inside of the Winecoff Hotel was smoldering and smoking like hot coals, that the official number of fatalities was totaled. 119 people lost their lives in that tragic fire. Many believe their collective suffering and terror were etched into the building on that horrible night. Amenities often malfunction within this hotel, including the elevators, which sporadically cease functioning without warning. Workers and guests alike have reported the fire alarms sounding for no apparent reason at 2:48 a.m., the time the fire started, and many have claimed to have heard strange noises from unoccupied rooms. This includes witnessing oddities as mild as mere footsteps or voices from behind closed doors, to more severe occurrences in which guests have reported hearing desperate, pained screams and the heavy footfalls of a person running. Additionally, outside observers have claimed that in the windows of the Ellis Hotel, one can sometimes see faces in the windows. They often look out with panicked or disturbed expressions and fill witnesses with overwhelming dread. While the hotel was renamed and rebranded, the people of Atlanta will never forget the tragedy that occurred within its walls. Constructed in 1956 to assist in flood control, Lake Lanier sprawls 38,000 acres across Forsyth County in northern Georgia. It is named in honor of a native poet, Sidney Lanier, whose most famous publication is titled Song of the Chattahoochee. This poem is an ode written with respect to the river feeding into the lake. Not only does the lake serve as a solution to flooding, it also provides drinking water and hydroelectric power to 5 surrounding counties. On top of this, it serves as a tourist destination, attracting well over 11 million visitors annually. Despite the allure of its lush green trails and beautiful beach, prospective visitors should consider the unnaturally high fatality rate that Lake Lanier possesses before planning a visit. The land that the lake was built over is soaked with blood. It was initially inhabited by the Cherokee Nation, who were forcibly expulsed from their homes and made to walk the Trail of Tears in the 1830s. Further injustices occurred in 1912 against the black community, when an 18-year-old girl named May Crow was raped and murdered close to a small town known as Oscarville. Approximately 1,100 black people lived in Forsyth County prior to this event. But after it occurred, radical white groups began acting against the black community, causing the population to decline. 3 men and 1 woman were accused of perpetrating the murder of May Crow, though it is now widely believed that they were innocent. Despite the lack of evidence, the public was stirred into a riot. They stormed the jailhouse and lynched one of the accused men. While the woman was eventually acquitted, the other 2, one being a 16-year-old boy, were swiftly sentenced to be hanged by the court. A crowd of over 5,000 gathered to watch their execution. Before the lake's construction, the government once again forcibly cleared the land of all its residents, including some whose families had lived there for centuries. A myriad of local structures, including cemeteries and a raceway, were flooded rather than being demolished or relocated. The weight of these injustices rests heavily upon the seabed of Lake Lanier. Many speculate that their residual pain could be related to the high fatality rate. In addition to past traumas, more recent events have accumulated to further add to the haunted mythos surrounding the lake. While over 500 people have died in the lake, 27 of those bodies were never located. Some believe that these lost souls never strayed from their rotting physical form. They remain as spirits that pull unsuspecting visitors down into the murky depths for company. Others subscribe to the Lady of the Lake legend, citing an incident involving the tragedy of two high school girls. After deciding not to pay for gas, the girls sped away at a dangerously fast speed, only to end up crashing over the lake's bank. Residents say they roam the area at night, their bloated forms in search of Lake Lanier's next victim.